The children in our country are being made to be the victim of a situation they are not involved, and then sent to a foster home where they again are reintroduced to trauma of being the odd ball. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem. George Washington never thought of children as pawn in the game of freedom and American values, and never had he wanted to sell them. They were from his maker, his creator. Our children are being run down for no other reason than the profits being made in some way. Somehow these government agencies make money hand over fist day in and day out. They have you go to classes that they are billing for, and there is no viable reason for you to attend. Yet when you hear an update, CPS tells you that you're further away from when you started. Reunification is your goal, not theirs. And after you go through 12+ months of grueling, painstaking classes and meetings, all while getting the slimmest amount of time to visit your child, and even worst, you are always supervised, never alone again with your child. It's awful. How do they feel, do you think?
Where's the outrage? Why is nobody standing up for these families being torn apart by CPS?
Please don't tell me you're going to put all your bets on this superhero. You grown-ups are supposed to be coming to his rescue. Stop ignoring this problem. There is nothing more I can say to any of you. Please fight CPS and help those who have lost so much they can help themselves.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
Hello, everybody. It's time to get it on. It is Monday night. We are CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. I'm one of your hosts, Vinny. How are you guys all doing this evening? I hope you've had a great weekend. We got a bunch of information to share on the show tonight. A bunch of things to go over. Hello, Tammy. Hello, and Ben Durham. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Chris. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. So some information that we just received today that I just want to pass along to you guys. It wasn't shared on the Tiff and Punisher show, but I wanted to share this tidbit of information out there that I just found today. I think it's rather alarming for this to come to light. And it should worry a lot of you parents out there that are fighting. So let me bring this up so I can read to you what was just said recently on the news. And this was in the Portland Press Herald in Maine. Judges rules Maine is denying constitutional rights of people accused of crimes. Superior Court Justice Michelle Murphy will hold a hearing this month to determine how the state should remedy what she says is a violation of the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. So, Maine courts are violating constitutional rights and not giving a damn, and the superior courts have caught on to what they're doing. Not only that, statistics have shown within Maine, it says there are more children in the state custody now than ever in the last 20 years, hitting about 22,500 in September. And because court cases take longer to proceed when parents are unrepresented, this is only adding to their work. November, Maine children in state custody raised to 20-year high. Robin Upton Skulkford of Union Presentation for the State Child Protection Workers said her members are feeling unprecedented levels of stress. Yeah, okay. When do these workers have any stress? Their stress is nothing compared to us, the parents. They are literally taking kids day by day, night by night, without anything done to them. They're just snatching up families all across Maine, children, with no regards to Constitution, no regards to parental rights, no regards to bullshit. And this is going on radically across the states. They also said that gotta find it here. It's in my big info bank over here. Um, yeah, my big info bank. Uh, right here. They said the list of Maine parents waiting for lawyers grow by 700% in 2024, and it may not account for the whole problem. And this is a post from Maine Center News Center, Maine. And this is regarding the district court building in Lewiston. Um, then they happen to say that there is okay. As of Jan 3rd, there were roughly 115 child protective cases that needed lawyers. Some of those cases dated back as far as April. More than half were added within the last 2 months. Parents, you guys all out there listening that are watching, you need to start liking, sharing. You need to get your stories out there. It is time for us to speak up. It is time for us parents to be heard. No more sitting in the dark. No more cowering down to this government agency that they call themselves when they're really not. They're considered a administrative agency. They really have no fucking government anything. They don't even have an oversight because the people that they say oversee them don't even do their fucking jobs. The ombudsmans don't do shit for you. They never will. So pound that in your head. Don't contact the ombudsman's office because these people are frauds. They will not help me in any damn way. So, and then they go on um, to say other things like 400% of cases in Maine, and that's a rise since last year. 400%, people. That is a lot. This goes to show you what is really going on in this big state of Maine. It is very corrupt. Very. It goes from our governor to the attorney general's office to CPS to the legislative body and so on. It follows all the way down the pike. All the way down the pike. I mean, there's a couple names floating around right now that we're looking into and investigating. I'm doing some research on the sidelines on this information. I've come up with a little bit today. I'm waiting to find out from Darren what he thought of what I shared with him. He's running behind tonight, so he asked me to start the show and get everything started tonight. So I'm hoping that they will, Darren will be in. I sent the link out to everybody that's supposed to be here: Danielle, Gunner, Mr. Herbert, which I haven't seen signs of Mr. Herbert yet. So I'm kind of wondering if he's running behind tonight. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Um, we are not attorneys by any means. We are just out here trying to help you parents to understand what is really going on, how to combat things. It is for educational purposes only. Um, we are none of us are attorneys. We're families that are fighting CPS ourselves and combating them and learning what is really going on behind the scenes. We've been doing investigations into investigations, um, looking into facts, fact checking, and we check each other all the time. Um, I look into things and I share it with the group. They look into it. They give their ideas on what they see, um, and that's how we do it. We kind of bounce off of each other. We're almost like a big family fighting for the same cause. Um, your parents. That's how that knows how to help people. Yeah, we're exactly, Debbie. We're parents that know how to help people. We're fighting lots of cases ourselves. Me, I'm combating a criminal case alongside a CPS case. Um, so I have two cases, and according to law, that cannot be happening. So I'm going to be investigating that law that I was just shared tonight and looking into that, because if that is the case, then they cannot even try to run a TPR hearing if that is state law. And if they try to say that they can do so, that's a breach of constitutional rights and a breach of statute law that is hearing me. So that would be something I would point out to these attorneys that are representing me and my wife. Um, I'm sorry if I seem a little bit talkative tonight, guys, but um, I have had a lot of anger inside me the past couple of days with the things that I'm finding out, the statutes that I'm finding, the laws that CPS is getting away with violating. Um, I'm not impressed with the state. I'm not impressed with our governor. Yeah, governors. Yeah, she might as well be a governor, um, because she doesn't do her job and she's just as corrupt as the next person. Um, And I never voted for her anyways. I would never vote for her. With the things that I know about our governor, nope. I wouldn't even vote her into office at all. Nope. Join the club, then. Yeah, yeah. My case of spinal cord injuries was related to this case of my family matter. Oh, no kidding. I have 3 cases to me, and I don't know if there is conspiracy against me. There probably is. And, the funny part about all this is that they're watching our Facebooks, they're watching any kind of social media, they're following our stuff, taking screenshots of our stuff behind our backs, and using this as evidence. There is a actual act out there in law that states that if you are a whistleblower against corruption, you are covered under this act. So remind you parents that if you're going to post stuff about CPS or you're going to post stuff about governmental corruption, make sure you're hashtagging your freedom of speech, your freedom of press, because they cannot oppress you for doing so. Yes, Maine is a Democratic state. Tammy, full on Democrats. Matter of fact, I was under a post today, and I saw someone comment under my post, and they said you could tell the Magna people from the Democrats because Magna people don't know how to spell. So I wrote back to them, "You Democratic scumbag, go somewhere with yourself." These people that think that they're so educated and they got power, let me tell you something. You don't have to you can educate yourself. You don't have to go to a goddamn college. You ain't got to go to a goddamn school. You can learn everything that's knowledgeable by reading books, by reading stuff that you find, reading articles, reading Constitution, reading the history of the US. You can learn this all shit on your own on a computer. You don't need someone to teach you this shit. You know, I've learned so much in the past year and a half that would blow your mind. I've been teaching myself all these case laws. I've been teaching myself how to familiarize myself with AI so I can write motions. I'm learning this all on my own. Like I'm having help finding the things that I need to find as far as statutes, as far as case law. And Gunner's been a big help, and Darren as well on those. So I've been like using both their knowledges and then using my knowledge into my case, and searching, what case law supports what I am finding in my case. Um, what case law or statute supports a winning case. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stuff that are one factual cases that have happened either in the state of Maine or in the US. because you can use certain U.S. Case law, but you have to make sure it's specific and that it kind of runs parallel to the same case laws as your state. That's how you got to do it. You got to compare the two and see where the difference is. I've actually, that's kind of funny that you said I should be kind of like an advocate, Debbie, because my actual counselor told me that I should be a constitutional attorney. And I told her, I said, I would never work for the bar. Never. I would never be as corrupt as the bar. Nope. Sorry. Not doing it. I will never contract with these fucks. Just won't happen. I've been through a lot. Been arrested twice. The second time, falsely arrested. They say that they arrested me due to me going to the bank. Mind you, the bank is like 20 steps away from my work. Okay. So how can you get that information? My bank is not supposed to release any information to you about me, and they did. I got that record pulled. So that's an invasion of privacy right there. I also got them on getting all my information from my job. They got everything, the data I was hired, my salary, what I was making, right down to the nitty gritty. I did receive the new video footage of the body cams, and it shows entrapment by the police officers of Wyndham, and it also shows how they were outside my work the entire time before I got there, how they were inside eating before I got there. So this is big time entrapment. And I'm going to combat that next because that's a blatant violation of Constitution. To show up at my workplace and publicly humiliate me in front of people in the restaurant, I cannot stress that enough. And I don't care if CPS is watching or this district attorney. You know what? I think this district attorney is a little peon prick, in my opinion. Can't stand him. He thinks his shit don't stink. But let me tell you, what I found out today, this dude makes 198 grand. You've been trying to get on the show. I haven't seen you pop in, Herbert. And I sent you the link, and it's the right link. Let me try to send it to you again. Give me 1 second, guys. Why mess with this? Because Herbert's got issues. I don't know why Herbert has issues. So give me a second, Herbert. I will try this link for you. Give me a minute. See if this one will work for you. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm multitasking here. As always, I'm always doing something. You never know what I'm doing. You just never know. And that's truth. Like, I could be sitting here on the show and I'm also researching things too. Try that link, Herbert. I just sent it to you. That should work perfectly fine for you now. I sent you the wrong link. I don't know why, but it gave me the wrong link to the show when I sent it out. Let me see if I can. I actually got to resend it to Gunner too, I think, because I sent him the wrong one. Didn't realize it. Sorry, guys. That's my bad. I was trying to get the show going and trying to send the link. So let me get this out to everybody. There's the link. I think there's Mr. Herbert. Uh-huh. Yes, sir. Good evening,
Yeah.
Mr. Herbert.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the bank was seconds away, inches away from where you work. Am I correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And you went over to the bank just to do bank business. Am I correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay. They've been watching you all the time. They were hoping you would step out of line.
Yep.
So every day you were there working, they watched. When you left
Oh yeah.
the work to go home, they probably followed you. So they have, for lack of a better word, a hard on for you for whatever reason. They have a hard on for you, and they probably put people on overtime just to
Oh,
watch to see what you
well,
do and
yeah.
what you don't do.
I mean, I had police officers coming in and through all the time, through drive-through, and some nights I did drive-through, so I would see them come through, because I was kind of training to do everything, within my work. I was doing grill, I was making sandwiches, I was doing drive-through when they needed me to, plus doing cleaning everywhere. So like, I was an all-around guy in the store. And uh, to this day, like my two bosses want me to come back, and I keep arguing the fact of, they said I violated bail. Well, they didn't say that I violated it via the bank. They said I violated it via, one of the people that were working at my work because of my conditions. Well, that can't be, because that person was older than what they had stated on that report, which leads me to, that's a false arrest right there, because that's what they originally arrested me on.
So they arrested you because you're around a people who are of a certain age.
Hmm.
Oh, so really, it probably had nothing to do with the bank. It
Nope.
sounded like it had to do with the people.
Yep.
So it wasn't the bank then.
Nope.
So
And then
in the stipulation that your first judge gave you, did he imply to you you could only be around certain people? I mean, was there stipulations?
there is stipulations, yes. It does
Was
say
that one of the stipulations?
that was one of the stipulations. The other stipulation
Okay.
was no contact with this person that is involved in my case, um, and that I could go to work and come home. I could go to appointments, counseling, and anything to do with medical or court. Those were my
So
stipulations.
then throw the bank out the window. It has nothing to do with the bank. So you led me to believe because you went to the bank,
But
but
that's
it
what
really had to
they
do with
they
people
had that
working at your.
they had that on there though. It's in the report.
Okay. All right. So put that in there too. So they're watching you no matter what step you take, whatever move you make, they're watching you.
Yep. And that's harassment by police. It really is.
Yes. Yes, it is. But the police in and of themselves don't care about you, Vinny. It's somebody higher. They're using the police to do their job. I mean, to do what they want done. But
Yeah,
but
the
but
DA,
the
the
actual
district
person.
attorney.
Okay, then that's who's got the heart on, because the dog itself is not going to bite you unless the handle of the dog says bite that guy.
Right. Yeah, it's the district attorney. I know it is. Um,
Yeah.
and and now that they did with this new, they're violating Constitution. Um, my attorney asked me how it applies to me, and I full on explained it to him, and I didn't hear back from him after I explained it.
Okay. And then your case was given to another judge.
Nope, nope, still hasn't
And,
been moved to another judge yet.
or
And
has it been?
I was told today that I shouldn't have filed a grievance against the DA or the judge. You know what? That is my constitutional right to file a grievance against a judge if I feel that he has wronged me. It is my constitutional duty as a citizen to report a DA who I think is embedded in corruption.
Who told you you couldn't file against the judge?
My attorney in the criminal case.
Oh, so Your attorney told you don't file, but you filed anyway.
I filed last night, last week,
Okay.
and I already got back
Okay.
my paperwork for the judge. I already got it back that they're
Uh-huh.
doing an investigation.
So they're going to follow up on your filing.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And I feel this
I wonder
judge
why
has violated my rights from the get-go.
I don't understand why your attorney would tell you not to file.
There's something going on there. He has a great
Is your
rapport, and
attorney?
he's won one major case that I found, and that was a murder case back in 2016, and that was his only big case that I've seen on to record that he won. So out of that whole record, that's his only one that I see a great rapport for. And I'm starting to question everything with him, because he always tells me that my motions are frivolous, that I'm not doing the correct way, I'm not trying to file the correct way. And then he pulls out the thing today of, if you file any more motions in the court, I'm going to tell the judge to disregard your motions and throw them in the trash. What gives you the fucking right? That's what I want to know.
And this is your attorney saying this.
Oh yeah.
Something's wrong with this picture.
Something's very wrong with that picture. For him to violate me like that and think that he's going to tell me what to do and that he has full control of my case, dude, I don't fucking think so.
I don't think so either.
I hope he's watching this and seeing this, because I'm going to call him out. His name is Stephen Shea, Shea Law LLC in Portland.
Yeah, well, Stephen Shea doesn't seem to have your interests at hand.
No, he doesn't want to listen to anything that anyone says. This case is drug on and drug on. He's allowed this DA to get away with so much. I swear he's like fucking buddy with him.
And probably sleep in the same bed, so to speak. But was he a court appointed, or you picked him out?
He was court appointed.
Can we get rid of him? And when I say get rid of him, I'm referring to like terminate his services with you and get another court-appointed attorney.
But if I do that, then it's going to push this case back even more.
Ah, okay. And that's not a good idea.
Then the new attorney has to file and get all the discovery, because they don't transfer it over from case to case. They have to get it for themselves.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So it wouldn't behoove you to ask to drop this one and give me another one. That's not going to behoove you, because the new one has to start everything all over again.
Yep.
And that's not to your benefit.
No, it is not. So it's either be stuck with the same old bullshit and deal with it, or find other avenues to fight this.
The only other avenue is if you pay for your own attorney, which will probably be pretty expensive, right?
For the attorney that I was talking to out of Portland before, the retainer fee was $2,500. That's the lowest retainer fee.
And then he's going to charge you per hour.
Yep, $1,000 per hour.
So, okay, so you got a retainer fee, which is one fee, and the other fee is he's going to charge you per hour.
Yep.
I'm going to see if I can find that with me and give it to her so she could come on, okay?
All right.
Okay, so I'll be back.
All right. Yes, I did. Yep.
To me?
Yep.
Okay, so it's the last text I...
Yep. All right. Herbert will be back. Oh. Oh, in, out. He went in, he went out. So yeah, guys, like there is so much bullshit in my case. Um, I've seen so many things go on. Yeah, you guys need to go back, go through your file, read through it, document anything you see out of mind, out of sight, that you think is off. Highlight it. That way you can go back and you can say, there's this part, there's this part, yeah, and you can go through your entire case, highlight everything on either your PPO when they did a preliminary protection order. If they did a TPR, you can highlight all that. You can do all your case file, highlight it, start piecing it together and finding the inconsistencies within your case. Take them inconsistencies that you find, plug them into some kind of AI writing software and see what it tells you. That's what I've been doing. I'm plugging all this information that is inconsistent with these records and putting it all into one. Then I'm using that to do my motion. But they're saying my motions are frivolous. Well, he is in the criminal side. Now, the CPS attorneys, on the other hand, are going to be looking at my motions that I've sent them. And I sent them quite a few, at least 8 or 9 of them to be exact. Even a writ that I did to use as other grounds, and it has case law, it has statute laws, it has the violations that occurred, it has the fraud upon the court, it has all this information, and it spaces everything and puts it into precedent. Herbert's back with us. Welcome back, Herbert.
Terribly. I sent to the link. Should be on momentarily.
If it was dismissed, the PFAs. In my case, I had PFAs, and they were dismissed, and they tried to use that in the court as a grounds for probable cause why they arrested me. But I never seen a warrant on that PFA, not once. And I had attorneys even looking to see if there was warrants on it, and there wasn't, not a one. So I'm still trying to comprehend how can you arrest someone on probable cause? You would not provide the warrant when asked more than 4 times. Um, you failed to provide Miranda rights, even though you didn't question me. You still have to under state and statute. Um, they didn't do that. They just put cuffs on me and made me walk out. But they had me in a cuff belt at that point. Um, when they arrested me the second time, they slammed me into a freezer. I have eyewitnesses to what they were doing to me. They kicked me in my back. They put a taser on me to my back, and it is stated in the report that they did so. I'm unarmed, and they put a taser to my fucking back because they said I was resisting arrest because I wouldn't give them my arm. Well, it doesn't help the fact that these cops brutally attacked me at work, jumped across a food service counter where food is served, put their feet on a food service counter, jumped over that counter, attacked me, grabbed me, twisted my one arm behind my back all the way to the point where I felt like my shoulder was being dislocated. Put his foot out in front of me, tripped me into falling into the ground. I slammed my head off this freezer that's on floor level. And my other arm is tucked underneath my body weight. Of course I can't give you my arm, you fucking retarded cop. But yeah, I was resisting arrest because I wouldn't give him my arm. That's not resisting arrest. I'm sorry. That is not. I stated the facts. And everyone in where I worked heard me. I have a right to work. I was approved to work by a judge. It has been court ordered that I could, and they still violated me. There is a
So
lot that people don't understand with this case.
yeah. So Vinny, when they came in, because I missed the beginning part of that, but when they came in, did they know you? Did they ask for you by name, or how did that go down?
The state cop asked for me by name. Matter of fact, she was there 2 days beforehand when I was not working. It was my day off, and she had come in and questioned them 2 days prior to me going into work.
What was she questioning them about?
What my
I know
schedule
it's about
was.
you, but
When was I
oh,
when was I working? When was I going to be on duty? When was blah blah blah? Getting all my information, and asking both my supervisors information about me. You don't have a fucking search warrant or a court order stating that you could go into my work. That's a major violation, Miss State Trooper.
okay. And she spoke to your supervisors. At what point in time did your supervisors get on the phone and say, "Hey, Vinny, you got cops looking for you here"? They
They did
asking
not.
questions.
They did not.
So the supervisors didn't at least call you on the phone to alert you
Nope.
that they're asking about you?
Nope. Didn't say a fucking peep of a word.
Oh my God. That's a shame. They could have at least called to give you a heads up. There's been an inquiry about you. The cops are snooping around here.
Nothing.
So they entrapped you. Your
Yep.
bosses entrapped you.
Yep.
Because if they would have called you, I'm sure you would immediately get on the phone to your attorney or district attorney or somebody and say, "Why are you looking for me?
Right.
Why are you asking my supervisors questions about me?"
I definitely would have.
So you, yep. So it sounds like your bosses were in cahoots with the cops.
Yep. Because I think that my bosses felt threatened by these cops, and I would feel threatened too. Because you know what? I have heard nothing but bad stories about the Wyndham Police Department and how corrupt they are and how they treat people. They are nasty motherfuckers that should not have a job or wear a badge. They've killed quite a few people. They killed one that they're still investigating that because they think it's a wrongful shooting. And if they prove that them officers shot and killed that person wrongfully, them fucking cops are going to jail for murder.
Wow. So when the police approached you and they said they're going to arrest you, did you say okay, or did you say no, or did you put up a big kadoo? What
No,
happened?
I said, no, you cannot arrest me because I have every right to be here working.
But they did say they wanted to arrest you.
They said I needed to come out from behind the counter. And I said, no.
Okay. Okay.
I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming.
That's
I
what's
was
that.
polite and I said,
No,
no.
no.
I was within my right.
That's when they went over the counter.
Yep.
That's when they went over the counter after you.
Yep.
Okay. Say no more. I get the picture. And by the way, Vinny, don't talk to these cops. I'm trying to think of who I can. Who could, okay, in your world of working at where you were working at, um, I don't know if that's a good analogy. I'm trying to think of an analogy I can give you where you're arguing with the wrong people. you talking to that's the wrong people. Those are totally the wrong people to talk to.
Yep. Agreed.
That you don't talk to them.
I don't talk to
They
them
were given.
anyway. I even served the state trooper a cease and desist. I hope
That's
that
fine.
bitch like that too.
That's fine. You can keep them away from you that way. Um, but you're not going to get anywhere arguing with those uniform or detectives or the guys that are coming out there. So they were sent out there. You see, they're not making
Yep.
up a law in and of themselves. They were given a mission to go and pick up Vinny. That was the mission. You see, so you got to argue with the person that set up the mission. That's who you argue with. That's who you fuss and fight with.
That's the
Not the
that's
not
the
the
state
uniform.
cop and the DA.
The DA and who else?
The state detective.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the state detective, you can go after him, and you're gonna end up probably with the DA, and then you can really figure out who put the order out, who ordered the arrest. You see,
Yep.
because the average Joe on the street cop, he's just doing his job. He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
And then I find in Discovery that the this chick that made this call to CPS is somehow getting into my Facebook after she has been blocked on numerous accounts and taking screenshots of everything that I say on my Facebook and sending it to them.
Wow. Did you change your account on Facebook?
I did. I changed my email. I changed my name. I changed my picture. I lock
Good.
everything down to where only certain people can see it. So that means those
Yes.
certain people that can see it, if I end up seeing that, my posts were put out there again, I will know
Mhm.
who it was and where it came from.
Yes. Gotcha. That's a great idea. I think that was a wonderful idea because that way you'll know who's doing it. How do you know
Yep.
it's a she, not a he? How do you know it's a she, not a he?
It could be either. But I don't have too many
So we
he's
don't
on my
know.
no, I don't have too many he's on my profile at all. I
Okay.
I
Okay.
normally don't socialize with men, to be honest. I don't
Okay.
know why, but
So
I just don't.
there's nothing wrong with that. So that's so you narrowed it down into she,
Hey, Gil.
and with the she, yeah.
Yeah, well, as my wife said, men are pigs.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But no, it's nothing to do with choice of friends or people. It just has to do with how you now narrow it down to who it could be. You see?
Hold on, I'm reading what Gil has to say.
Yeah,
Money
I'm reading it
machines,
too.
evil
Money
devils.
machines, evil devils, CPS, and that you have dependency court for CPS, dollar sign. Kids are valuable money source in the United States. Yes, that's very
That is
true,
very,
Gail.
very true, Gil. Very true. And
Yes.
this is proven fact. They proved it on the show earlier, the Tiff and Punisher show, that they are incentivized. They actually proved it on the show earlier today. They played a video of it, and it proves it. This caseworker came out and blatantly said it.
Yes.
So if that tells you parents
Yes. And
anything,
I think
they are in fact
we
making profit off of our children and taking our children. And they are in fact trafficking our kids for profit. They do not
yes.
care about us parents. They do not care about these children. All they care is about the bottom line, the money that they're making off of our children.
Mhm.
and the money they are
And I
making
know,
off of our bonds that we have. You guys don't even know how deep this goes. When you have a birth certificate drafted up as a child, when you were born, from the moment they received that birth certificate in the hospital, from the start of that to your social security card, there's a bond put up. The bond accumulates every day. Okay. And some of these bonds start out at $1.8 million to start. And these courts are using our bond money that we have within the IRS as their own pockets, and they should not be. These are our bonds. They don't belong to them.
interesting,
So think
very
about it.
interesting.
All your hard work, your social security, when they get you into court, they start attacking your bond, which means that takes from your retirement money.
Oh, wow. Oh. So you're saying that comes out of your 401k?
Absolutely.
Or is it
Trace it
501k?
back. You have a number on the back of your social security card. That is your identification number to your account. We all have it. It's in small print. Look it up, people.
Mhm.
It's all over social media. There's people out there that explain your bonds to you and what you have. That these people are definitely ripping us off. That they're trying to say that we have to pay for cars. No, we don't. We have a trust. We all do. We all have a trust and a bond. That simple.
So what you're saying
We,
is we don't have to pay for cars.
no, we have a trust. We can use our trust
Okay.
to get our cars. I was watching a thing on it today. The guy was explaining
Uh-huh.
about how your trust works and what you can use
Yes.
it for. You can use it for houses, you can use it for cars.
And this is our money. We don't have to pay back. It's not like a loan. Is that correct?
That's right.
So how do we get access to it?
You have to cut them off from using it.
Okay.
You have to take control of your trust. Can everyone please
Uh-huh.
give me your answer, just short and sweet? Try to keep it yes or no if possible. What's the question, Lady P? Ask away so we can read it and see what people have to say. And Gil,
And
we definitely encourage everyone to record. Um, but keep in mind, people, that if you're not in a one-party state and you record, you do have to tell them you are recording them, and they can do the same with you. And if you don't tell them that you are recording, that could fall back on you. Only one-party states can record without giving any acknowledgement of recording. Maine happens to be one of them states. It's a one-party state.
so if you're in a two-party state, you have to let the person know. If you don't let them know, whatever you recorded is not going to be, can't be used.
Right.
Now, they have these glasses out. The guy that committed that act in Louisiana with the driving through with the truck. You heard about that, I'm sure, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. He scoped the place out with his video glasses. He didn't have a video
I don't believe
machine. He
that.
didn't use his telephone. I'm sorry?
I don't believe that even happened, Herbert. You want to know why? Because the guy that they're saying did this
Yeah.
was one of the highest ranking officers in the military.
Yes, that's correct.
I don't believe it.
He
I'm
was.
sorry. I think it's a front. I do.
So you think somebody else did it, not him?
I believe it was a setup.
Okay, the setup though
They,
is
they,
my question is, well, let's go all the way back to the beginning of that. Do you believe people got ran over by that?
I
Is it
believe
called
they
Sugar
did.
Bowl? Okay, good. So
I,
we believe that,
I,
but but
yep.
but you don't know. You're saying you don't know who was driving the truck.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying you don't know who was driving the truck, but they're saying they know, and you're saying no, that's not the guy who was driving the truck.
It was a setup. When
Yeah,
did
but
the
where's the
judge
setup?
rule?
I'm trying to
Hold
figure
on,
out where
hold
the
on.
setup was. Yeah.
When did a judge rule on reasonable efforts DCFS supposed to prove the evidence or oral argument that made reasonable efforts to keep kids home before removing them? There is no rule on that. You want to know why? Because it states in Constitution and statutory laws, and you can look it up and verify it, Lady P. And you can put it in your AI, and it will tell you the same thing. It states under statutory laws that by doing so and them not doing reasonable efforts, them not actually letting the kids stay at home until they actually serve a PPO, preliminary protection order on you, that by removal of those kids is unlawful search and seizure of your children. They have to have a PPO or imminent danger to remove a child. And when they removed mine, there wasn't no imminent danger. I wasn't nowheres around. So how can they be in imminent danger? And how could these kids be in imminent danger in their grandparents' house? There wasn't. They had no grounds of imminent danger whatsoever. The cop just came here, took the kids, and left. That's kidnapping by a police officer.
Was it police by itself, or was it police and CPS?
Nope. Police by himself. No caseworker. Even though they tried to say the case, no, she wasn't here. My stepdad was standing right in the goddamn kitchen. And we had other witnesses in the house. No caseworker, just a cop.
And did they present paperwork to your
Nope.
you said that was your godfather? Who was it?
My stepfather.
To the guardian, your stepfather. So did they present paperwork to your stepfather saying they could take the kid?
Nope. No court order. They didn't have the court order until 4 days later. Meanwhile,
So
my
why
kids
didn't your stepfather
my kids
did,
slept at a police station.
right. So did your stepfather know that he didn't have to let them go, or he just wasn't aware of that? Just, in other words, did your stepfather just get scared because there was a uniform with handcuffs and a gun standing there saying, "I'm taking the kids," rather than stepping up to the cop and saying, "No, you got to have paperwork. You're not coming in here."
My stepfather at the time could not step foot from behind that counter. And I'll explain to you why. My stepfather has had a concealed permit for his gun that is always on his side. And it was on his side that day. And if he would have stepped out from behind that counter, that cop would have raised his gun at him.
Counter. Is this counter in a house, or was it at a store?
No, in the house. We have metal counters that line our kitchen. They go around the whole.
I can visualize that. But what's the cop doing in the house? How did the cop
My
get in the
my
house?
my stupid younger sister let them in the house. So she allowed them
Okay.
to take my children and try to play off as she was a parent. She was not their parent.
Okay. So your sister let the cops into the house. Now I
But she
understand.
had no authority to let them in because it's not her house.
But to them, she's at the house. She let the police in, so it's fair game because she let them in. Now, had she said, "I'm not letting you in the house," they can't come in.
Mind you, this is the same sister that was forcing me out of the house to begin with before this all started.
Okay, so she was forcing you out of the house. Mind you, could this be sister? Could this one be the one that went into the Facebook and started taking stuff? Could that be possible?
Nope. Nope. She's blocked on all of her
No,
accounts too. Not only that,
no. You
she's
remember
um,
somebody took some stuff and pictures from your Facebook. So we knew it was a female. So could it have been your sister that did that? You see my point, Vinny?
yeah, Lady P, you still can bring up certain things from your initial hearing to your second hearing, but it's later down the road that you have a hard time doing so. Usually, if you can fight it from the start, okay, and I'll explain this to you a little bit because I just fully understood now. If you were to go to that PPO hearing, okay, and file motions before that hearing. So if you knew you had 10 days prior time, you got your motions filed, you got all your stuff in, and you fought that PPO from the start, okay, then you have a better chance because then you can put that PPO in perspective of a judge and say, well, this is what constitutes violates what happened, what really happened, an affidavit of truth. You can do all that before the PPO. And a lot of us parents don't know. We go into these things and we go, well, we just got served a PPO. Well, here's one thing that you don't know. Your PPOs and your TPRs, and I'm going to explain this to you. You can look it up in the statutes. A PPO and a TPR must, I repeat, must be served by an officer of the court, an officer by the clerk, or by a state or local police. It cannot be handed to you by CPS. They are a party of the case. They cannot hand you this paperwork. If they do and you sign it, then you just signed a false document because it has to be produced either by a court, by an officer of the court, by a police officer, or through certified mail. CPS cannot serve you a PPO or TPR. It violates statute and constitution. So you guys need to go back and look through and see what happened in your case. Like I'm telling you, line your case up on the floor, put it all in front of you, read down everything from start to now, highlight everything that's happened that you see as there's something wrong here with this picture, and put it into your AI and see what your AI has to tell you.
That's a great idea, Vinny. That's a very good idea.
That's what I've been doing. I've been putting all of my case stuff into my AI, from images that I uploaded, emails, anything that has anything to do with my case. I am uploading it into my AI, and you can do images, you can do Word documents, you can do case file, case law, and you can put it all into one thing, and it will run down through it, analyze everything that's in it, and it will tell you what it finds.
That's really cool stuff there.
Oh, you're asking how many people heard the judge rule of it in their case? Um, no clue. I mean, I haven't found that in any cases really. CPS usually don't make reasonable efforts. No, they don't. They don't make any reasonable efforts. It's a lie. It's a scheme. It's fraud upon the court. They are lying to the courts because they're buddy buddy with the judges. They all sit in the same circle. They all have coffee together. They all discuss the cases together. They all do backroom deals, and they do it behind closed doors. You're not
I think
realizing
lady,
that it's a corrupt system.
I think Lady P mentioned before about they have to make efforts to try
To reunify.
anything. Yeah, well, basically that's what she's saying to keep the kids safe before removal. So did they do anything with your kids to try to keep them safe or whatever before removal? In other words, did you hear from these people
No,
prior to them coming to your door?
nope,
No, I was at a friggin' family team.
nope. My wife was at a family team meeting. And matter of fact, I looked into that too, and it
No,
states
I don't mean that very day. I mean like a week or 2 weeks before. Did you get an inkling or an indication they're coming after them, the kids? It could have been a week or a month before. Did you get anything that said that if you don't do this and you don't do that, we're coming after the kids?
nope.
The only thing they said was you had to stay away for 30 days.
They said I had to stay away for 30 days at least. That was it.
They
Okay.
said the
And you
girls
stayed
couldn't
away for 30 days.
Yeah, I was gone. I wasn't even around here.
Okay.
and
Okay.
they said you couldn't have any contact with the girls, but they didn't say I couldn't talk to you. They said the girls couldn't.
The girls, they said the girls couldn't talk to. I hear your wife in the background. Make her clear. I can't hear her. What
Well,
was she saying?
she's way over there in the lost
Oh, I can hear her
acres.
talking, but I'm not. She said something. I wanted to comment on what she was saying.
Well, a
Tell
bit
us, say it
out of
again.
the way. She's doing something at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And as for Maine is a one-part consent, not two-part consent. And think Maine is a one-party state, which means that
Yes,
we can record without giving them acknowledgement that we're recording them. We
that's
don't have to
correct.
say anything,
And
and we can record a cop, we can record a judge. We don't have to tell them. We do
that's
not.
also correct. It's a one-party state. But if it's a two-party state, all parties have to be aware of the fact that they're being recorded.
That is correct.
Yes. Which, by the way, the person that was mentioning before about make sure you record stuff, who was that? Let me go down the list here. Who was the person that said make sure everything's recorded?
That's
Gil. Was that Gil?
yep. That was Gil, I think.
Okay. Okay. So what I was going to bring up is they have these glasses now. So in other words, you don't have to have a cell phone in your hand. They have glasses, like I'm wearing glasses right now, that has everything in it. You could talk to it
Not
and say record.
accepted. That you don't have in the court. You don't have to tell them you're recording them. You really don't.
Well, some courts don't allow recordings, but if they don't catch on to the glasses, you could be recording in a court. Nobody will ever look at your glasses. Your glasses are
Mm-mm.
made, they have them in Ray-Bans. Ray-Ban glasses have them. And you just put your glasses on and they're automatically recording. You're looking through your glasses, there's a little tiny, tiny little camera.
Ray-Ban glasses and batteries.
Let me explain, Lady P. I record even my attorneys, and I got them on recording, and I have quite a few hours of recording on my device of everything that was ever said. I record. It is my right.
That's good.
On my computer.
Just like my wife records every single visit with my daughter. Every single visit. everything that she said, everything she does. We have pictures. She documents things. Like today, she had visits.
And everything your daughter's saying too is being recorded,
Yep.
correct? Everything's being recorded. What your daughter says, what she says. So therefore, later on, if something gets bogged up, she could bring the recording out and say, "No, this is
Yep.
what we talked about." I think that's a very smart idea.
You can record, but not legally. Hey, if they don't know you're recording them, that's on them. To be honest, they know. Most states know that they're a one-party state.
Yeah,
They're
the
going
only
to be
thing is, if it's
recorded,
a two,
or there's going to be courtroom watchers that are recording
yeah,
as well.
yeah. But in a one-party state, like you stated before, as long as you know you're being recorded, that's
Yep.
all that counts. You can have a room of 12 people and you're recording everybody, but you know you're being recorded. That's all that counts. And that could hold up in court. But if it's a two-party state, everybody has to know they're being recorded, or else it will not hold up in court. You could do it. You could record 3 people in a two-party recording state, but they will not be. It won't be admissible in a courtroom.
Needs to be washed again. I don't know what happened to Darren. He told me he was going to be on, but he must have. we got lost tonight, I think.
What is this person saying about, Vinny, how the hospital with your consultation, doctor?
Where? I don't see that.
It's Mustafi Abdurrahman Hassan something. It's right under the last statement that Lady P made. Look at the
Yeah, it's
entry before
not
Lady
showing
P.
me. I just see Lady P's. It says Lady P, Lady P, Lady P, Lady P. Yeah.
Really? No, there's some other name here that popped up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that.
Okay, here's what I see. Lady P says, Herbert, maybe you know the answer to this. Then under that it says, Lynn was wondering. Then under that it has a name. It just popped up
Mustafa.
again.
Yes.
You see, Mouse Trapper.
No.
Who's Mouse
No, it's
Trapper?
Mustafa. Mustafa.
Oh, Mustafa. So look at what Mustafa said before. Mustafa says, Vinny, how the hospital with your consultation, doctor.
I don't see that one. I'm looking, but I don't see that at all. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't show that.
Mustafa came in again.
Would
Yeah.
a child be considered the one party if I put recording devices in my kid's backpack? I mean,
if the state is a one-party state and you put a recording in your child's backpack, your child knows there's a recording there, it's acceptable. So when your child goes into school and record the teachers talking or the principal talking and they say things out of line, you can present that in court. It's a one-party state. Now, if it's a two-party state and your child is recording stuff and the principal or the teacher doesn't know they're being recorded, that will not be admissible in court.
Correct.
But if you're a one-party state, and the way you do that, you got to check to find out the states you live in. Are you living in a one-party state or a two-party state? For example, I'll tell you a two-party state, Florida. Florida is a two-party state. New York is a two-party state.
Maine is a one-party state. So, you guys gotta.
Maine is a one-party
You gotta
state.
think of, what the rules on that would be, Lady P. So if we're a one-party state, I don't know where you are as a one-party state. I'm pretty sure it's a New England state, so it probably is. If that's so,
what state is Lady P in? Ask Lady P what state is she in?
Mass. Boston or Mass, one of those two.
Massachusetts?
Yeah, I think so. Boston or Massachusetts, one of them.
Oh, okay.
But Boston is Massachusetts anyway, so I mean, Lady P, are you in a one-party state? Do you know? Have you looked into that information at all to find out? And you're welcome, Mustafa.
You could Google, maybe somebody could Google. If somebody could, I don't have the ability to do it, but if somebody could Google the name of the state they're in and say, is it a one
Yep.
party state or a two
CT,
party state?
one-party
It
state.
would give you the answer
He is a
immediately.
one-party state. So
Connecticut.
then, yeah,
Okay.
you could
So Connecticut is a one
you can
party
do
state.
that, Lady P. You could put a recording in their backpacks and you could record.
Sure, exactly. And whatever you record can be held against the individual that's talking. As long as your child says, I know I had a recording in my bag, then it's fine.
But make sure that you tell your child, do not let them know that they have a recording device.
That's also correct. Because it defeats the
That's right.
purpose.
That's right. But we're about at that time for tonight, guys. We started a little bit late, not super late, but a little. But we are at that time, so we are going to do last words, and we are going to get the hell out of here for the night. And then we will all see you back here tomorrow for the Tiff and Punisher show at 7 p.m. And then we have, of course, our show, CPS Victims Hunting for Justice, at 10 o'clock. This is all Eastern Standard Time, of course, because me and Darren are actually from Maine. Herbert joins us from the great state of Arizona. Most of you are probably either close to like 10, 11 o'clock or even later than that by now, or it's morning, depending on where you are. So with that said, Herbert, last words.
Well, last word. I just learned something tonight to share with people, and that's based on your case, Vinny. That is, all parties in the home has to be aware of the fact not to open the door for the police and CPS and let them in. So even if you are the parent of the children and you're dealing with the CPS case, you can't let cousin Louie or Aunt Lucy, who happens to be just visiting you, open the door and allow the police to come in, because they will come in. And they're legal because they knocked at the door, and an adult opened the door and let them in. So you have to make sure all parties in your house understand, don't let nobody in my house. They have to understand that.
Good analogy there, Herbert. Really good.
So,
All right.
well, the reason why I got that analogy, because you told me you didn't open that door, that your sister opened the door. So that made it legal for the authorities to come in. And by the way, don't have children answering doors, because children, if they let the person in, it's legal. A child opens the door and the policeman says, oh, I want to come inside. And the child says, oh, come inside. That's legal.
So with that said, my last words are going to be this. Remember, people, you have a constitution and you have a state constitution. You have statute laws. You have case law. You have federal law. You have superior law. Start looking into some of these laws and case laws and match them with your statute laws and see what you find. You'd be amazed at the amount of information you can find when you compare the two and you put them into an AI and it tells you what it actually matches up to. It may just save some of your time when you're doing motions or you're doing affidavits. I have learned quite a bit, like I said earlier, on all of this due to Darren and Gunner and everyone that has come through the show to share information. I fact checked all my information. I always do. I run it through different things. I have 2 different AIs that I can put it into to get that information. And it is knowledgeable stuff. So remember, you have constitutional rights. You have statute laws. You have statute constitutions, and they all kind of coincide with each other. Start looking at those and finding where they're wronging you. So
The answer for Lady P is anybody inside that house opens the door to the popo. You just let them in.
They consider that as allowing them in, Lady P.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to drop on you, Vinny, before you close out, is that you mentioned to your listeners about Gunner's show on Sundays, and he'll talk to you about the legality of taking cases to the federal level.
Yes. Gunner show is on Sundays. Make sure you guys check him out. He's gunning for CPS. That is his new show on Sundays from 9:30 to 10:30. Actually, I want to, pop Tatiana in because I just seen that she popped in, and I want to kind of hear something from her really quick because I know that she's been dealing with a lot trying to get her grandbaby. So I'm gonna take a little bit more time before we do close out.
Yes.
So Tatiana, let me bring you out here.
Okay. That's my cousin.
Oh, there she goes. She disappeared. I popped her out and she disappears.
Oh.
Well, hopefully we can see if you can get her on the show tomorrow night, Gunner. Herbert, geez. See what happens when we talk about Gunner.
It's okay.
No,
it's okay. I knew you were referring to me. I just wanted you to tell your listeners. I think it's on at 9:30. Am I correct? Or 10 o'clock?
9:30 to 10:30.
9:30, 10:30. Yeah, Eastern time.
Sunday night. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he'll talk about how cases should go into the federal level.
Yeah. I agree, Lady P. Cops do not listen to kids, but they'll listen to them when they say you can come in.
And they will also listen to them if the kid indicates there's a crime that has taken place, or they know who committed the crime. They're going to listen to the kid.
So with that said, you guys, we are the hell out of here. I hope you have a great evening. Stay safe. And remember, do not let CPS in your door without a warrant or court order. We are out of here. Have a great evening. Stay safe and God bless to all of you.
Take care, Vinny.
You too.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.